Hi everybody, this is Tess at Love This Yarn, and today I am going to give you a little tutorial on learning how to knit for the crocheter. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I am a long-time knitter. I was a knitter first, and over lockdown I learned how to crochet, and since then I have really been a prolific crocheter. So I've made all kinds of things: blankets, sweaters, hats, scarves, shawls, bandanas. Yeah, you name it, this girl's made it. Okay. So I am going to put my camera up so that it's pointed down on my little table, and then I am going to show you some beginning steps for learning how to knit the correct way for a crocheter. Okay, so hang tight with me for 1 minute and let me get this let me get my phone up here. Okay, here we go. Okay, hi everybody. Now what we're going to start with are some bamboo needles. And these needles right here are Takami clover needles. The Takami, however you want to pronounce that, they're by Clover, and they come from Japan. And you can see these are made of bamboo. Now these are the needles you want to use if you are just learning how to knit. And the reason for that is because your stitches will slip off your needles. For a beginner, it's just a rite of passage. It happens. Okay? So I am using needles that are way bigger than what this yarn calls for. This is Premier Yarns. It's the Deborah Norville Serenity Chunky. And I have this in blue. And y'all, I got this at the Dollar Tree store. Believe it or not, they had it in all different colors too. Now, don't rush out to the Dollar Tree because this was like a year ago. So it was not any time soon, okay? And I believe that this yarn would normally require a size 11 needle. And let me check. Yes, a size 11 needle, which for a crochet hook is a US size L or an 8mm. Okay, so this is the yarn I'm going to use to demonstrate to you the correct way for knitting if you're a crocheter. First of all, I apologize to you left-handed crocheters out there. I am right-handed, and so I will be teaching right-handed. Eventually I'll figure out the left-handed way and I will teach that as well. But for now, this is for you right-handed crocheters who would like to learn to knit. So there are two very popular styles of knitting. And when I say styles, I mean in the way you hold your yarn and in the way you grab your yarn to make your stitches. Okay, now there are many more ways than just two different styles. However, the two styles I'm going to discuss are the most popular styles, and that is the English style and the continental style. Now, the English style of knitting is not what a crocheter wants to do. Do not learn the English style of crochet. It will make your life miserable, okay? And I'll tell you why. The English style of knitting, the yarn is held in the right hand, not the left. And as you know, as a right-handed crocheter, you hold your yarn in your left hand, okay? So, the difference between English and continental are two major things. First of all, English style holds the yarn in the right hand versus the left, right-handed yarn holding. And in the English style, they do a very funny thing. They actually throw their yarn around the needle. And when I say throw, I literally mean they pretty much throw that yarn around this needle to knit. So it is throwing the yarn, okay? Now when you knit in the continental style, now this is the important thing, y'all. You hold your yarn in your left hand. And if you are a right-handed crocheter, this is what you're comfy with, because this is how you already hold your yarn, okay? You already hold it in your left hand. The other difference with continental knitting, you do not throw your yarn. Your yarn stays right here, just as in crochet. Your yarn stays right here, and you simply pick it. You just kind of pick it, and that's what we call it. We call it picking your yarn, okay? You just kind of grab it with the needle, and that's what you do, all right? So let me demonstrate, and to demonstrate this, I am going to put some stitches on these very oversized 17 needles. These are a US size 17. Way too big for this yarn. This yarn calls for a size 11, but I really wanted you to be able to see the needle and the yarn, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make a toy gun with our hand like this, okay? And we're simply going to drape the yarn across our forefinger and our thumb with the tiny short end towards you, okay? This is going to be your tail. And what we're doing is a long tail cast on. That means we're going to leave a lot of yarn down here because we need to leave as much yarn as we want our project to be like wide, okay? Because we're going to put those stitches on this needle, all right? So we have our hand in a gun shape, okay? I'm going to reach across with this hand, and I'm going to grab both strands, and I'm going to secure it with my ring finger. Now, I do not use a slip knot, but a lot of knitters do. I did away with the slip knot a long time ago. I don't need it, and I think it makes my work a little bulky right at the beginning, and I just don't like the look of it. So you're going to take your needle, and you're going to hold it like a knife grip on a crochet hook. So if you're a knife grip crocheter, this is going to be even easier for you. But don't despair. If you're a pencil person, you can still pick this up, okay? Just don't hold your needle like this. Go ahead and revert to the knife grip, okay? So what I do is I bring my needle under that yarn, I pick it up, and I bring the needle back to me, and I twist that yarn at the thumb. See it? And I make a little circle, and I'm going to go in at the thumb, and I'm going to follow up the inside of my thumb with my needle, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to grab this and let go. Now, as you can see, I have 2 stitches now on my needle, okay? So I'm going to do this again, and and you guys, you can go into your settings on YouTube, and you can really slow this down and get this in slow-mo, okay? So here we go. I'm bringing the needle toward myself, crossing that yarn, bringing it up, wrapping it around the yarn on my forefinger, and pulling it through, okay? And you're going to pull it through that loop on your thumb. So here we go again, crossing over, coming up through, grabbing the yarn on my forefinger, and pulling it through the loop on my thumb, Okay? So this is how you get stitches on your needle. And this is the long tail cast on. Now you guys, there are other cast on methods. And you know, I will go through some at a later time. Today, I'm just gonna go with this because this is what I prefer to use most of the time. And I'm gonna do it again real slow. So here we go, up here at the top. We're gonna come down, we're gonna see how that yarn is at the bottom of my palm of my hand? You're going to go up your thumb and in between these two strands of yarn. And then you're going to, while it's still in there, you're going to wrap it around this yarn on your forefinger and you're going to drag it back through and slip that loop off your thumb. Just like that. So one more time, very slowly. Back up the thumb, around the forefinger yarn, back through the loops on the thumb, and slip it off your thumb. Okay? So very simply, that was it. All right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this just however you hold your yarn for crocheting. If you're a right-handed crocheter, you're going to hold your yarn just like that. And what we're going to do, you see this line of stitches right here? Those stitches need to be kind of where you can see them. And you don't want to get them twisted. And by twisted, I mean like this. See how it goes, ooh. Now, Jennifer, over at Cinnamon Stitches, I saw one of your videos, I think a week or so ago, and people kept telling you you're twisting your stitches, honey. And this is what you're doing. This is called twisting your stitches. See that? You're not keeping your stitches straight on your needles or your interchangeable needles and cables, okay? So you always want to make sure that your stitches are straight, or you will get your stitches veering off instead of nicely lined up in a row, okay? So do not twist your stitches, or you will be having everyone tell you you're twisting your stitches, right? So, okay, so now we're going to start continental knitting, and we're going to hold our yarn like we're crocheting, and we're also going to grab our needle. We're going to grab our needle with our ring finger, pinky, and our thumb, okay? And now we have this needle in our left hand. We are simply going to insert this needle under a stitch. So now we have both needles in a stitch, and we're going to grab, see how I'm just grabbing this yarn right here? And you guys, if it helps you in the beginning, you can put your thumb over this yarn and it'll help you pull it through, just like I did. And then you're gonna slip that stitch off, okay? So now you've just slipped your stitch right off your needle, okay? And you're gonna keep this tail out of the way because you don't wanna accidentally knit with your little short tail, okay? That would be bad, all right? So we're gonna insert, so you have both tips inside the yarn, and we're just gonna pick this yarn. See how I just look at this. I just grab it with the needle and I bring it right through and I slide it off. So now I have 2 stitches on my needle over here, okay? Once again, insert the needle, pick that yarn, and just drag it through those loops. Because see this? You've got 2 loops up here. This is your original loop. And you're going to drag that yarn through and simply slide it off your needle. Okay? And you guys, you are going to have to keep your yarn closer to the tip of your needle. Insert the yarn. I mean the needle. Sorry. Pick that yarn and and simply scoot it off the needle. Okay, so once again, put your needle inside the yarn, pick that yarn and bring it all the way through like a cross and move the yarn off the needle, okay? Insert the the needle into the loop. Twist that needle so that you're picking that yarn right through the loop and sliding it off the needle. Okay? And again, right like that. Okay? Super easy to do, everybody. You can do this. It just takes a little bit of practice. Now that is a big loop at the end there. And don't worry, because that will tighten up. Now you guys, you can tell that I'm starting a row of stitches here, okay? Now this stitch that we're doing is garter stitch. It's just a simple back and forth stitch, okay? So I'm going to get some more yarn. And once again, I'm going to wrap that yarn around, okay? And I'm going to insert. And really, when you're knitting like this, you guys, do not make this mistake where you pull this so tight that this looks like 2 stitches. This is not 2 stitches. It's actually only 1. Do you see that? It's 1 stitch. This is just your loose thread from that very last stitch that you made on your previous row, okay? So do not make that mistake. Your stitches need to all just look like this, not like that funky one, okay? So once again, we're just gonna insert our needle rather. We're gonna grab that yarn. Remember, if it helps, you can place your finger on your needle to help pull that first stitch through, okay? And then you're just gonna pull your yarn tight, all right? And here we go again. Both needles in the yarn. You're going to grab your yarn, bring it through, almost make a cross, and then just push the yarn off. That's really the easiest thing you can do. And remember, we're keeping our stitches straight right here. See that? Okay? We're coming in with the yarn. We're going to pick it and just push it off the needle. Okay, so underneath the first loop, the loop closest to you, pick that yarn, bring it in between. See the 2 loops? Look at this, y'all. Here's your loop. You're going to bring that yarn in between, make a cross, and simply scoot the yarn off this needle right here, your left hand needle. So once again, insert the needle, pick that yarn. See, I'm trying to give you some different viewpoints. Pick that yarn, bring it through, and scoot it off. Okay, so what you're doing is you're moving your yarn from this needle to this needle and back and forth. You're going to then put this needle in this hand and you're going to work it over again, okay? And all the while you're building up your stitches. So see, just like this. You guys, I never use bamboo needles anymore because I haven't used them in a really long time. These are just what I teach people to knit with. They really slow me down because your yarn does not glide across bamboo very easily, which is the reason why bamboo needles are so great for beginner knitters. Okay, so all your stitches are back on this needle again. So we're going to transfer it to this hand because your your needle with your stitches on it, when you finish transferring all of these stitches to this needle, you will always take this needle and put it back in to your left hand. Okay? So you're basically doing all the work with your right hand, just like in crochet. Do you see how similar continental knitting is to crochet? It's very, very easy. All right? So once again, I'm wrapping my yarn. I've got my stitches here. I'm checking. They're all nice and neatly, nice and straight. I'm inserting my needle into this first loop of yarn right here. See? And then I'm just going to pick that yarn and pull it straight through, make the cross, slip the yarn off the needle. Okay? So, insert the needle, grab that yarn, pull it through, make the cross, and slip the yarn off. Okay, insert the needle, grab this yarn, pull it through, make the cross, and slip the yarn off. Okay, insert the needle, pick that yarn from back here, and you're going to pull it through the two loops, the same. See how this, you guys, I'm going to make sure you understand what I mean. See this? This is your loop. When you're picking your yarn and pulling it through, you're going to pull it through in the middle, in between these two strands of yarn. The strands of yarn that make your loop. Okay? So here we go. Slow-mo. Pick the yarn. Pull it through. Make your cross. Slip it off. Okay? Insert the needle. And I go right up behind the needle in my left hand. And I just turn my needle a little to grab that yarn. And I pull it through and slip it off the needle. Insert the needle, pick the yarn, pull it through the two strands of yarn on that single loop, make the cross, slip the yarn off. Insert the needle, pick that yarn, pull it right through the two strands of that single loop, make the cross, slip the yarn off. Okay? Do you guys see how I'm doing this? It is super, super easy. Okay? And now you can tell we have our fabric that's starting to take shape. Okay? Right like this. Now you guys, this fabric will look much different when you're using the correct size needles. And I want to show you. This is a Ross hat that I just finished. You can see my stitches here. Now this is a 4-weight yarn, and I used a 5mm needle, which is a US size 8. Okay? And you see how nice my stitches look? These stitches are not twisted. They're not malformed. My tension was good. You guys, I made this entire hat without even looking at it. I was watching television. Okay? And that's because I've been knitting for a very long time, and I don't have to look at it. I have the Ross pattern memorized. This is the only hat pattern I knit. So, yeah, I just love it. Just love the little, the way it gives you the design on the top. So, yeah. Okay, so back to our continental knitting here. I'm going to go ahead and show you this one more time. And then you guys, I want you to leave any questions in the comment section below, and I will do more videos on this. Don't worry. This is just a very brief introduction, okay? So I'm wrapping my yarn. This is exactly the way I wrap for knitting and crochet. I hold my yarn exactly the same. So wrap your yarn however you hold your crochet. Get your needles ready here. Make sure your yarn is coming off here like this so that you can pick it. So insert your needle, bring it right up behind your left needle and pick that yarn, okay? Bring it through, make your cross, slip it off your needle, okay? Insert, go right up behind it. You see that? The only thing that's behind is my needle. I'm just kind of rolling it to the back. And now I'm just going to take the tip of my needle and I'm going to pick that yarn. See? I'm going to pick that yarn and bring it right on through. Make my cross and scoot it right off the needle. Okay? The whole time, remember to keep these stitches straight so you don't get your stitches in a twist, y'all. Okay? Jennifer, if you're watching this, honey, this is what people mean by, I think I already said, this is what people mean by you're twisting your stitches, dear. And hopefully, honey, you are knitting in the continental style. If you're not, you need to contact me because I will teach you how to do this in the continental style. You are a crocheter, and continental style is the easiest, best, and fastest way for you to knit, okay? So here we go again, y'all. Behind the left needle, you pick that yarn, pull it through, make your cross, and slip it off your needle. Insert your needle into the loop behind your left needle, grab it with your right needle, make your cross, and slip it off. So here we go. Insert the right needle behind the left, pick that yarn with your right needle, pull it through the loop, make the cross with your needle, and scoot the yarn right off the needle, okay? So once more, very slow. I'm going to try to give you a different perspective. I'm going to hold my needle like this, okay? All right, you guys, trying to give you a different perspective through the camera, doing the exact same thing, just giving you a different perspective, okay? And there we go. All of our stitches have been transferred now, okay? And we are starting to form our fabric, all right? So I'm going to do this one more time, you guys, and I'm going to take it a little faster, but you guys slow it down, okay? Just slow it down in your settings because you'll get really, really quick at this. You crocheters out there, you will learn how to do this in no time. And the thing is, if you're trying to learn that English version, oh my lordy, y'all, that's rough. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Learn continental. Remember this name, continental knitting. This is the style for you if you're a crocheter. There we go. Okay? So you guys, that's all I'm going to do today. Just remember, you will get to the point where you'll be able to make a Ross hat too, or a shawl, or knit anything you want. Sweaters, anything you want. I have knitted everything out there that you could knit, okay? And you can do it. especially since you already know how to crochet. You already know how to do some yarning, y'all. Yarning, as my husband would say, right? So you can do this, okay? Just practice, practice. Rewind this video and watch it in slow-mo and keep going. If you have questions, please, 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 please write them in the comments section, okay? So you guys, I appreciate all of you so much, and stay tuned because tomorrow I'm going to do a little video and I'm going to do a giveaway because I have over 100 subscribers now. Yay! And that's all because of all of you. So thank you so much. I love you guys to pieces. I'm just tickled pink that this channel has taken off, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you so much. Big hugs, everybody. Bye.